Shalom. Hello. Hi, Eileen. My name.
Hey. Hi, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Can you see me well? I mean, is this like the right angle?
It's the Corona haircut.
Nice. Suits you. ניפח לך יפה.
It's my Farrah Fawcett type of.
It suits you. Very, very nice.
My son is just finishing up.
I hate the ninja game.
Okay.
Very nice. Morning about that. I on the floor and I went, why haven't we sold this dress? I know. What?
Hello?
Bye. I'm struggling. No.
How many people are we expecting? 10?
Usually they're anywhere between 30 and 50.
Oh, okay. So we're waiting for a bunch of more to sign in then.
Yeah, usually 10 sign off before and the rest arrive later on.
Okay. And I need you to switch to gallery view, I think. Are you
I
on?
am on gallery view. It's just.
Oh, okay. So switch.
No, I am on gallery view, but it's whatever your view is.
Yeah, I think I need to be on a speaker view. Yeah, no, I need you to change the setting for
Make you the speaker. You want me to make you the host? I'll make you the host.
Yeah, so I can share my screen.
Good.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, share screen. Okay. And now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so people are still joining. Okay, cool. So how is it in Israel? It's completely open, right?
Opening up. Yeah, it's opening up. And yeah, it could have been much better and much quicker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for us here, we're all still in quarantine. So where you are is
is better. I know. But you could have been in a better position too. So we have the same problem with our, leaders being a little bit. I would say they're not females. That's their worst problem because. There were articles about the fact that the best countries to cope with Corona are led by female.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Germany and which one? Yeah, was the other one? Denmark?
New Zealand and Finland and Germany and a bunch of others.
It's not new.
Yeah.
I read that most of Israel's cases actually came from the U.S.
70% from the U.S. because they didn't close up the flights from the U.S. They did close up the flights from all around the world, just not the U.S. because of Trump and Bibi's relationship. So they made sure they didn't close only that location, and that's where 70% of the cases came from.
It's our gift to you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Elle.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Ayel. How are you?
I'm good. It's suddenly 1 o'clock. And you should have your coffee. Yeah, Andrea, it was interesting to hear yesterday the Clevio guy, huh? He was good.
It's very impressive, the software.
Oh my God, Erica is having issues. Do you mind sending her? She's asked me 3 times for the link. Usually she's getting it. Erica from Wow. Are you connecting to her somehow?
I mean, I can email it to her.
That's the email I have. Erica at Shas at Wow. Yes.
Tell her to just keep trying. I had problems too, and then eventually it went on.
No, she never got the email with the link, and I sent it to her.
Oh, I sent it this morning, as always.
Yeah, she didn't get it, and I just sent it to her. Okay, what should I do with her? Can I
It's
maybe
a-
text her that?
Isn't it the same link as the day before and the day before and the day
Yeah, it's the same link always.
Use the one from yesterday. Or, okay. Nothing from you, she's saying. Can you
sent it to
text
her.
me the link, Aline?
I
And
sent it to you and her.
Oh, you did? Oh, Aline just sent. Okay, Aline just emailed you too.
So I think because it's a very long presentation,
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll just wait another minute.
okay, so we'll wait another minute. Okay.
Here's
Hi,
Erica. I
Erica,
saw
how are
her.
you?
Oh, this has not been a great day. I don't know what's going on. Everything is bad today.
Oh,
no! What? Everything.
hi, Erica. You want to cry together? Where are you? I don't see your face.
I'm
Oh,
here. Yeah, I want to cry.
we'll cry.
Oh,
with you.
Erica, I want you too. I'll cry with you.
Okay, good, because this ain't good.
It's okay, honey. It's okay. Okay, I'm happy you're here because now you got it.
Yeah, we're here with you.
And the good weather, Erica.
Yep, that's a good thing.
I know. Okay, but everyone is healthy?
Physically.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Mentally, no, but physically, yeah.
it's a good start.
A good
Yeah.
start.
Okay, honey. Welcome. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Sending you
so-
hugs,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Erica.
Oh,
Big hugs.
big
Great big
hug.
hugs.
Okay.
Giant hugs.
Eileen, can
Ooh.
we
They need to
gradually
be giant
begin
with
so we
me.
don't, so we have enough time on our hands to discuss
yeah,
this?
we're gonna start.
brief?
We're gonna start because it's a
Yeah.
long session. So Yael, we're good to start?
Yeah, mute us.
Okay, so I'm
No.
gonna mute everyone.
No. Well, not as long as it's concerned to me. I would rather have everyone be
No. So
on.
there's always background noises because majority of audience are in store. So you can hear the store background noise. So I'm gonna mute everyone and I make it so that anyone who has a question can unmute themselves and then it works a lot better, okay? You're not gonna be muted, of course. Oh, can you do that? Because you're the host now.
Oh, okay.
So make sure that the checkbox is
Well,
ticked
can we
for,
try and see whether there are not any, maybe there won't be any background noise because I really rather us having a like fluent conversation
It's
and
gonna be a fluent conversation. It is. Don't worry. We've been doing it for 5 weeks now.
yeah, well, no,
it's
I've
always a
been doing
fluent
it too.
conversation.
I've been doing it too.
Yeah.
You're
So no, I'm just saying this crowd is we know the rules. They're well behaved most of the time.
Don't promise anything.
We try.
We'll try.
Yeah, but that's our protocol. We unmute with the ability for someone to unmute themselves if they have a question.
So where do I mute everyone?
There's a button that says mute everyone.
There's a button for mute everyone? Oh, maybe
Mute
it's
all.
under
It says mute
more.
all. Look at when you click on all of the names at the bottom right, it says mute all. And then when it pops
Oh.
up, it says allow everyone
Yeah,
to
got it.
unmute
Got
themselves.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
Current and new participants will be muted. Okay, so, oh, and I see this is not my name.
Yeah.
Well,
We
my
can call you Adif, if that's what you want.
my children use this
Oh,
account
okay.
as well. So
Me too. I showed up to a meeting as Baby Yoda.
okay.
Right.
So,
So everyone, I just make a short
you can-
intro just to praise you once more after the 50 times I praised you in the past week. Just to say I am extremely disorganized, overwhelmed with information. I always pile myself with more projects, more information, more stuff, 50 email inboxes, 20 phones. And I met with Batren so that she can help me with that. Batchen has her organization that is focused on allowing people, she has a ton of other things that she does, but she's here on the call to teach us how to time our time and to manage ourselves so that we can enjoy all of the wealth of information of offline and online and events, but also keep ourselves efficient and sane while at it. So if I was able to pick 2 or 3 tools from Batchen, anyone else can do it. Believe me, ask Yael, impossible, possible with you.
Impossible.
So the stage is yours, Batchen. So everyone ask questions as we go through this.
Thank you, Aline. So hi, everyone. So like I said in the beginning, I really want you to be engaged and ask questions as they pop in your mind. So I don't want you holding on to questions. So just unmute yourself whenever you need. You can also give me a sign. So I just, notice that you're about to ask something and I will pause because I do tend to speak and speak a lot. So you will have to interrupt. So go ahead and feel free to do that. We're Israeli style, so give the chutzpah and don't think twice. Also, you will be getting the presentation and you will be getting a written summary of everything that I'm going to be talking about. So if you don't feel like writing, don't feel obliged to write. You will get everything. You can just sit down and relax and kind of be inspired and listen, get ideas. We're not going to implement them right now. And you will be able to implement them later, and I will assist you later with any questions you have. You'll have my email, so don't worry about how to do things. Just kind of sit down and get the state of mind that I'm offering you and the ideas that I'm offering you, and don't feel stressed about following up on all the little details. You will have time later on, next month or next several months. I will be here to assist you. So I know that everyone is overwhelmed with information because we're living in this chaotic era and very dynamic and changing, and the world is going wild. So it's not easy times, but it's good to know that everyone's facing, with the same challenges, and it's messy and chaotic for everyone. So that's kind of encouraging. I bet it's a little bit of an encouragement to you too, guys. So let me see. You see my slides, right? You can see my screen. Make sure you can slice your view in half. So speaker view and the presentation. So you can see me and you can see the slides, and you can play with the ratio of your screen. This is the slide about me. I won't go through it now. You'll have it. You can read it later. I do now, for the past 3 years, been concentrating only about teaching knowledge workers and tech companies how to work smarter and not harder. So this is my expertise, and this is what I'm doing full-time job. And my story starts a little bit in the past. Growing up in Israel, my mother is originally from the US, from New York, actually, raised in Queens. And she made Aliyah to Israel when she was 20, and she hooked up with my father, who is a local Israeli Yemenite. So I'm half American and half Yemenite, or half Israeli, whatever you want to refer to. And my mother and father, in the beginning, they really had a nice love story, but over the years, their relationship became a little bit more problematic. And whenever my grandma and grandpa, my nana and papa, used to visit us in the summer, and this is them in the picture. This is a picture from 1959 in New York. My grandma and grandpa in the middle. They're celebrating my uncle's bar mitzvah, who is just sitting below them, and my mother is on his side. And my grandma and grandpa used to come to Israel and stay with us for 2 months every year. And whenever my parents were going at each other, and that was happening, quite a lot, my grandma used to say to them something that stuck with me and really changed my life afterwards. And she used to say all the time to them, "This is not the time nor the place." whenever they would go at each other over dinner or driving in the car, and we were all packed in the car, and they would, steal the energy. And she would just say, this is not the time nor the place. Wait till we get to the gas station, take it from there. And she kept saying that, and that became a second nature to me to kind of filter everything that I do, ask myself before, is it the right time and place for it? Is the right time to be doing something? Is it the right time and place to be thinking about something? Is it the right time and place to be saying something? So that kind of became the second filter, and it really helped me in life, especially. So this is what my grandma used to say. By the way, one of the workshops I gave it to someone in, he's from Israel, but his family is also from New York originally. And he said that his grandmother used to say that too to him all the time. So it must have been something around the New York region and Jewish women going on and saying, this is not the time nor the place. And then this happened, and all of a sudden, this is not the time nor the place became this very key issue in my life. And what's happening in the picture? What's the event?
Well, Mr. Jobs.
Yeah, what is he doing?
Launching the iPhone.
Oh, wait a minute, Aline, you're not supposed to be answering this.
Finally, I can excel at something again.
Launching the iPhone.
Yes. What year was it? Someone else, not Aline. Which year is this taken? This picture's taken?
Looks like one of the latter years.
Any guess?
Was it before he passed? Just before he passed?
No.
Most recent?
Not just before he passed, but yeah, but he was launching the iPhone then.
2000.
Okay, so this was end of 2007. So thank you, Michelle. Michelle said 2000, right? So it's
Still don't have an iPhone.
And you still don't have an iPhone. Good for you.
No.
Yeah, iPhone is, smartphones in general are good and bad altogether. So not having one is not necessarily a bad thing. But also having one isn't necessarily a good thing. So it works both ways. So this was taken in the end of 2007. This is the time where smartphones were launching. So that was about, 11 years ago.
Do you want to watch it with me?
Well, yeah, more, but yeah, I want to say 11 years because most of the people in the world were the proud owners of a smartphone only in 2009, 2 years after the launch. Because at the beginning, there were only early adopters who would jump on the new technology, and it would take about 2 years for the rest of the world to join in. So for most of us, we had our smartphone around 2009. I was 32 then, 42 now. So, merely 11 years or 10 years. But you said 2000, and that's a common mistake because people tend to think that smartphones have been around for much longer than 10 years. People don't remember having a life before them. So that's something to take in consideration and keep in mind, because there are people in the world saying today that the digital revolution that started with the smartphones is an equivalent to the revolution, to finding the fire and the print revolution and the industrial revolution. So like a very, very historic moment in the life of human history, and that changed the way humans react and relationships and work. And we don't even remember ourselves having a life before that, but we did. We had a thriving life, maybe even more than today. There was great economy. There was an economy. There was successful companies even before that. So it's a good thing to keep that in mind because, as I said, smartphones have introduced a lot of issues and problems. And this is what life started looking like, 24/7, and notifications jumping right at you from all over and messing with your mind and overwhelming you with information and stressing you out completely because you're also feeling the FOMO. Everyone knows what FOMO is? Yeah? No FOMO? Fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. It's now an actual recognized disease, fear of missing out, because there's physical reactions to that sensation. So there's lots of new sicknesses that evolved in our lives in the past 10 years. And right, I started with saying that this is not the time nor the place, really helped me kind of develop my own method in which I'm only taking the positive aspects of technology, leaving out what I can, all the bad influences. And the key to that is understanding that there is the time and place for everything. And our work as knowledge workers is basically to schedule everything or plan everything in accordance to what is the right time and place for it. So if we're sitting and having dinner with our family, it's obviously not the right time to be texting. And if you're in the middle of a meeting, then obviously it's not the right time to pick up the phone unless, it's urgent. So you have to take a phone. But if it's not urgent, you can just say, I'm in a meeting and I'll get back to you. And when you're with your kids, so, try not to be around the phone too much because, they get, well, I don't know how small your kids are, but, smaller kids get tantrum attacks with that, with their parents not being, giving them attention. So understanding what is the right time and place for everything and adjusting ourselves to be doing the things on the right time and place, or filtering our thoughts and actions and words in accordance to what is the right time and place, is one of the key ways to thrive in this chaotic information era that we're living in. And I will, of course, now elaborate and show you how to put this theory into practice. Questions up until now, before we move on? Comments of any sort or welcome? Okay. Okay. Aline, they're a very quiet group. Okay, I'll wait. So moving on. So one of another key element in thriving is understanding that we need to put some sense into the amount of information coming in from all channels and sources during all the hours of the day and night. And we need to put everything in order. And the first way to do that is narrowing our capturing tools to 2 only. What are capturing tools? Capturing tools is anything that you use in order to capture your assignments, your tasks, your thoughts, your ideas. So it can be any app that you use for task management. It could be your notebook. It could be a digital notebook. It could be an email. Lots of other tools. It could be a Pinboard. Sorry, one second. So any format of that sort can be a good capturing tool, but the key is narrowing it. That's Aline, I think. I don't know. I'm hearing an echo.
You do have an
That's
echo.
true.
I do. All of a sudden. Okay. Yeah, Michelle. Okay. Thank you. So narrowing it down, our capturing tools to 2 only, but doing it wisely. And I will explain to you how. I decided, and again, you don't have to make a decision and stick to it. You can make a decision and change it. But I decided that my 2 capturing tools are my notebook and my email. So that means if someone sends me a WhatsApp message, and I can't take it right now. Okay, I'm busy. And there's lots of WhatsApp messages coming in all the time. So I'll just write down in my notebook the names of the people that I need to get back to, or I will ask them to email me. That way I'm funneling the information into one of the 2 capturing tools that I'm using, either taking responsibility on my own and writing down the mission, the task on my capturing tool, or asking the other side to send it to the right capturing tool for me. Same goes if someone approaches me on Facebook or on LinkedIn, I would either write down their name so I will get back to them later, because that is not the right time and place to be talking on LinkedIn while I'm doing something else. I'll just write down their name in my notebook, or I'll send an email, I'll send a reply saying, please email me. Okay, I'm not gonna start having conversations over LinkedIn and Facebook. Same goes to any information I capture online from social media. So let's say I find something on Facebook, I'll copy the URL and I will show you how I'm gonna really quickly send it to my email. That way I'm capturing it to one of those capturing tools that I'm using.
You're losing your volume.
I'm
Sorry, we're losing your volume. You keep disappearing. Your voice keeps disappearing.
That's very strange. Is anyone else also encountering this?
Or at least, oops.
Yes, I am too.
Okay, that's better. I hear somebody.
Yeah, I'm experiencing it too. You got very quiet.
Try to speak again.
Maybe closer to the mic.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hear
mic
you.
is working, right? Can you hear me tapping?
Now it's good. Better.
Good. It's better.
Just get close to it.
Yeah, I'll just go like this.
Yeah,
there
Is
you go.
better? Yeah,
Yep.
better? Okay, great. So I was saying that if I find something on Facebook that I want to follow up on, I will email myself the URL of the discussion rather than not saving it on a save post feature, right? Because on Facebook we can save the post, but if you click on save post, this means that you've actually opened another capturing area. And a lot of people do that without intention. They click on the save post and then they have tons of posts that they saved on Facebook, but they never return to them. So that's a digital graveyard. And we want to prevent from having that. So we want to have a very clear understanding, where are we funneling all the information to, and choose only 2 capturing tools, not more than that, to be very efficient in the work that we do. So it's okay, of course, to capture information on Facebook. Just know that that would be one of your capturing tools, and then you can save posts as much as you want. You will return to them later, and I will show you what we're doing with all those capturing tools. But it's important to make that concise decision and funneling everyone to that, to those areas. So one of the ways I used to capture information right into my inbox is through a hack that I've installed, which basically turns a note into an email message. So as you can see on the screen, this is a picture of my phone. There's an envelope in the middle. That envelope is a widget.
We're
When I
seeing,
open it, I'm sorry.
no, now we're seeing it. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, there was a delay in the video.
I guess. Yeah.
So there's this round envelope, you click on it. So there's basically an empty note that opens up, and I'll just paste or talk or text, whatever it is that I need to capture. And it will, and then send, and that will automatically get to my email and into my inbox. So the day
That's
after I
an
get to the office,
iOS or Android, that's an app that I can download.
that's a widget. And it's good to use it on an Android. The reason it's better to use it on an Android rather than an iOS, because on iOS, and I think, Aline, we did it on your iOS too, there's a need to swipe first, swipe down and swipe right before you get to it, because the widgets on iOS don't sit on the main page. You have to swipe your way to them. So that's, again, a decision you have to make, whether those swipes are efficient enough for you. Maybe they're too much of a hassle, and you will have to use a different hack to make it quicker and fast, and faster and more fun to capture information that way. Because if there's lots of clicks and swipes that we need to get to in order to get to that widget, then it's making the capturing process not efficient enough. We wanted to make it quick. Anything that comes to mind, any idea, any task, any link, we just need to have a way to quickly capture into our system. So there's also, if anyone wants to use this, and there's an Android, this is an explanation on how to do that. And I've used, basically to install that widget, I used a tool that is called IFTTT. Anyone using IFTTT right now?
That's a very, very, very important tool for everyone to know.
Right.
Not just for this, but for many, many, many other things, including social media scheduling, notification, SMS.
I will explain
Is that
what this
Android and, is that for both Android and iPhone?
Yes. IFTTT is a service that connects between tools. So what it says, if this, then that. If I change my picture on Twitter, make it automatically to change my picture on Facebook as well. If I like a video on YouTube, send it to my email. If I clicked on a new post on Evernote, send something to my Drive, whatever. So, there's lots and lots of recipes inside IFTTT because it connects between an enormous amount of tools. So you can go into IFTTT and search for recipes for social media, and you'll get a bunch of them, of automations that can occur between the tools that you're using. Now, it's not perfect. There's not all the tools you would like to use, but there's a lot. I have 4 recipes right now of automations when using IFTTT. One of them is the hack to quickly email myself a note. So it's good. It's a good tool to get acquainted with. So what you'll need to do basically is right now just understand that there's a capturing thing here. You want to capture IFTTT and look at it later in a later time. Naturally, you won't be doing it right now.
But Chen, I want to give an example of how I use IFTTT. So I contacted Batchen. We met 3 years ago, and then I contacted her again 6 months ago because I found myself, coming to the office, sitting down with Yael, typing whatever we wanted to do on my laptop, and then closing it. And then I stand in the hallway, and I have an amazing idea. And Yael and Fatima and I are talking, and I'm like, okay, the laptop is in the bag, so I'm just gonna write myself a note on the iPhone, and then I put it in the bag, and then I go home, and on the way home, I'm like, oh my God, I have such a great idea. I'm gonna send myself an email as a reminder. And then I get home, and then I have, something else, and Yael calls me, and she's like, Aline, we really need to talk about next week's Digital Power Hour. What are we gonna do? So I'm pulling like this notebook, and I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna write down everything here. And that created mass, just lost information, because at the end of the day would come and I'd be like, where did I put my notes about what we're doing next week? Is it in my laptop? Is it in my email? Is it in my notes? And what I did on the phone, which is what Batchen explained, is I have these 2 buttons. That's it. On the phone, I don't know if you can see it.
So those are widgets on your iOS then. So you're swiping to get to them, right?
No, my phone is turned off. Oh yeah, I'm swiping to get to them. So,
okay, it's a concise decision that we make. I mean, it's great to make that.
No, but it's okay. I do this, and then I click on a button, and it opens up a window, and I type idea, discussion, decision, Yael's request, Fatima's request, Mark's request, Batchen's request, whatever. I type it in here, and it saves it to one place that I chose for it to go to, and that keeps everything there. So just
one of your capturing tools.
Scenario, yeah, just an example of the way it can really help you. So if you think about the store, you're in the front desk, you're writing something, you're going to the back, there's something there, you're managing it from home, from the computer, you're managing from the phone. This is just one place where you put everything in.
So what I want you at this stage is basically to think about what would be your 2 capturing tools. And like I said, you don't have to commit to that right now. You just want to start realizing what are your 2 favorite tools that you want to stick to. And then, you try. And then after a month or 2, if you see that one of them isn't friendly enough or isn't fast enough or isn't whatever, user-friendly enough, then you can then, of course, switch.
Are you going to talk? I have a question. Are you going to talk about how to organize your emails? Because I have so many emails that I can't figure out what to do with them or how to get rid of them. Or
I'll get to that.
Thank you.
Okay, so moving on. Another good thing to know, in your mobile settings, we all have keyboard shortcuts. And I recommend setting up 3 keyboard shortcuts. That means you won't have to be typing things that you use often, like your phone number, your email address, or whatever, your shop address, or whatever, something that you often write. So that's a shortcut. You just put in the shortcut you decided on. That's why I warmly advise not to go over 3, because you have to remember them by heart. And every time I need to send someone a WhatsApp and say, email me, please, I don't have to write my email with 8 different arrows. I just use my keyboard shortcut and it pops on the screen. It saves me time and it saves mistakes, of course. So it's good to operate the keyboard shortcuts on your mobile, and know that you also have keyboard shortcuts on your PC or your Mac. So if you're using, so there's 3 options here you can choose. There's a service called Text Expander, and again, that just creates snippets for text that you use often, so you don't have to type all the time. So you can see an example on the board, on the screen here. The name of my workshop is My Method, Your Survival Kit for Working and Living in the Digital Era. It's very long, So I don't have to write it every time. I just click in the snippet and it appears on my screen, and it will appear on my inbox, inside Word, Google Docs, in the browser. It will appear everywhere around the computer. I will use the snippets. But there's a text expander, costs about $30 a year, but there's also free services. So for Microsoft users, as you can see at the headline, it's called A-Text. That's for PC for Microsoft. It's a free service, and anyone using Mac, there's an Alfred on Mac, and you can set up your shortcuts there. So I warmly advise to work with them. If you want to use WhatsApp, everyone using WhatsApp these days in the US, or is it not as common here as it is in Israel? Using WhatsApp? It's okay to go into WhatsApp for a second?
Yes.
Okay, great.
But
So WhatsApp can be a good capturing tool if you're using two important features in WhatsApp. You can only use it as a capturing tool if you're opening a group with yourself and you're pinning it to the upper part of your phone, because you can only pin up to 3 conversations. Everyone knows that you can pin conversations on WhatsApp.
Can you show us how you pin it? Because I would like to know, actually.
You're using an iPhone or an Android?
iPhone. So in terms of pinning, meaning I'll keep the conversation as new?
No, it's gonna show on the upper bar of your screen. There's going to be 3 conversations that are constantly there showing, and all the rest will just slide below it. So if you're opening a group with yourself and you're pinning it, then it's always going to be appearing at the upper bar.
Okay.
And
just to show you, on WhatsApp, on iOS, you swipe to this is the left. Swipe from left to right. Okay.
And you can pin.
And then you can pin. And I used it from Batren. I have my group, Aline To Do. And all the text that I'm reading from 500,000 groups, whatever I need to reuse, I'm forwarding it to my to-do list. And that I can get the gardener, the exterminator, the crafts for the kids, whatever, And you can of course parallel it to the store.
So opening a group with yourself and pinning it is one feature that you have to use in WhatsApp if you want to turn it into one of your capturing tools. The second feature is favoriting a message. So inside a message, you just got something and you want to save it. Instead of forwarding it to your group, you can click on it and star it, okay? And it's important to star items because when you forward them to your group, it will come without the name of the sender. The name of the sender is not going to be showing.
Wait, how do you star? In WhatsApp?
Inside the message.
You highlight a message, just like you forward.
Yeah.
One of the options is to star.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And then, so that's the second thing you have to do. And then when you go on your PC, you install the WhatsApp web, you open your capturing tool on the wide screen. You don't operate from your mobile. The mobile is just for on the go. But when you're working inside in front of your computer, you want to have your capturing tool on the wider screen. So you're opening the WhatsApp web and you're asking him to show you, you can just filter the view for the starred items. So you're filtering the view and then you can see everything that you've captured on that view. And of course you have your group with yourself where you have captured ideas or text or you can talk, of course, and your voice messages and links that you've saved. Everything is going to show up in the group and the rest is going to show up on the starred item list. So work with those 2 features and on the bigger screen if you want to make WhatsApp a good capturing tool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Google Keep can also be a good capturing tool. Well, it's got a very good user experience. It also has look at the second dot on the slide. It says reminder by location. So it can remind you, it can pop up the notes based on where you are. So you can create a note that pops when you enter your shop. with the address, and everything that you've captured to that note will pop up just when you enter your store. So there's a reminder by location feature that does not exist in WhatsApp. You might want to try out Google Keep, but again, you have to choose, right? Notebook, email, Google Keep, WhatsApp, not everything, okay? Just know that you have all these options. Another thing that Google Keep has that the other apps don't, it's not written here in the slide because I just found out about it a couple of days ago, so it's not yet updated. But if you add a picture to Google Keep, you can then ask the Google Keep to give you out the text, live text out of a picture. So it basically scans pictures and PDFs and will give you the live text, and then you can edit it. So it's a nice feature that it's good to know that it exists. This is a picture of one of my clients that it decided that it wants a big pin board to be their capturing tool. So I really love the idea of not just having online tools, okay? So it's good to have, if one of the tools is like this huge, gigantic pin board, go ahead and use that. The fact that we're in the information era doesn't mean we have to all go online. So this is basically the chapter about capturing tools. Before I move on to the emails and calendar chapter, anyone wants to ask something or talk about capturing?
Digesting. So
Sorry?
digesting.
Digesting, good.
So one word about Google Keep, just as an example, I use it. I use Google Keep to take notes on the go, but also when I sit down with Yael or Mark or Fatima, then I take notes directly to Keep and I can then share it with them. So both of us have the same notes. And
Aline, I'm quite worried. It seems like you have 4 capturing tools. I counted more than 2.
Sometimes
Thank you, Batren.
Yeah. So why not just capture for WhatsApp, whatever you need to send to them? If you want to share something with them or give it to them, assign it to them. Just
you gave me tools, so I'm using all of them. The WhatsApp.
Well, you don't have to use, it's not the more the merrier. It doesn't work like that with web tools. You really want to stick to a few and use them, all the features, get the best out of them, but not spread yourself over the entire spectrum.
But I gave it up. I gave up Keep. I just use it as an example, but the honest truth is that I gave up Keep.
Okay, great. I'm calmer now. Thank you. Okay. So like I said, it's good that you just kind of inhale all these new information and ideas because you will have time to process it and I will be here to support you afterwards. So moving on to the calendar. I will show you how I'm using the calendar as a super tool to manage tasks and information. The most important part to know about what did I do? When I opened the participants? Okay. The most important thing to remember when it comes to understanding the way we perceive time is that our brain is very limited in some ways, and it has the tendency to overestimate what we can do in a week. And the opposite, we tend to underestimate what we can achieve in a year. So this is probably one of the most important slides that I can share with you today, because this has an impact on the way we perceive our own productivity and efficiency. And we tend to judge ourselves and be very hard on ourselves, looking back, saying, I could hardly do it. I hardly did anything this week, and we might be too hard on ourselves. But if we remember this tendency where we seem to overestimate what we can do, meaning that we put too much on one week, then when we look back at the week saying, oh my God, we didn't finish half of the things we planned, then I'm giving you the full encouragement to then look at it with compassion and grace and say, okay, well, we have that tendency. I did overestimate how much time I have. So it's okay that 50% of the things I plan to do, I didn't do. And that is fine. So now I'll show you how I'm using this inside my calendar, but it's super important to remember that tendency. Okay, so be gracious and compassionate and forgiving towards yourself when you see that you've got a lot of things left out and you haven't gotten around to do. And on the other side, if you're doing that New Year's resolution or you're planning for the next year or so, remember you have a tendency to underestimate. So once you've finished writing all the things you want to do this year, sit down and add 30% more, you know, kind of get it out of yourself just to fight that tendency. You can see that in the system that I will offer you now, you can achieve a lot more next year than what you thought you would. So the way to manage calendar, and this goes, by the way, how many here are using Outlook in a raise of a hand? No, no one? What, just one? No one. Gmail, everyone uses Gmail? Okay, okay. If someone doesn't like Gmail and wants to move to Outlook, I will be very much encouraging that. Just so you know, Gmail is not a good email software at all. Okay, keep that in mind. We all use it because it's free, but it's not the best. It's actually not even close to being good. Okay, I'm very judgmental towards Gmail. I think it's one of the worst applications in the world today that have been with us since 2005. So, but you can implement what I'm teaching now on Gmail as well. So the idea is to
if someone can mute yourself at the background, because we can hear the background noise.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I suggest to categorize your calendar into 4 categories by 4 colors. And when you're using Gmail or Google Calendar, you're basically you're adding more calendars. If you want to have more colors in the calendar, you basically have to open new calendars. You have the main calendar, which is your name, and then you can add 2, 3 more to suit the system that I'm offering you now. So we want to use the color coding of private meetings, in my case, yellow, that I need to attend myself. Work meetings and phone calls, in my case, blue, which I need to attend myself, be present at. But third-party meetings for private or for business that I only need to know about, but I don't have to be present myself, have their own color too, and it's called the FYI calendar. It's for your information only. And a lot of private and business events are marked in the calendar as FYI, because if our partner is abroad or an employee is on vacation or whatever, there's lots of information that we need to put in the calendar because that will change the way we plan the week. If my husband is going to be on reserve next week, there's going to be an impact on the way the house is held and the way that my work is going to be conducted next week. So I have to put that in consideration. So we have a color for private and work events that I only need to know about, but I don't need to be present at. And the more, busy you get and the more hectic things are, the more you use this color. And the last one is emails and tasks for future follow-up. In my case, it's orange. So what we're doing basically is we're taking emails and we're converting them into tasks inside our calendar. And then they will get the color of a task. So our calendar will look something of that sort. In this picture, you can see blue and green, they coexist because blue is work and green is FYI. And you can see that there's a bunch of tasks at the end of Thursday, the end of one day, and there's a bunch of tasks at the beginning of another day, and they're grouped together. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind. You want to group those tasks as much as you can and do them all together and not spread out the day in terms of having a meeting outside and then doing some task and then having an internal meeting and then doing another task and then jumping on a phone call and then doing more tasks. You kind of want to group all the meetings that are in-house or external or phone calls. You want to group them together and then sit quietly, having nothing in between, just to do your task for at least 2-3 hours straight, just focusing on tasks. So that visualizing that inside the calendar will help you plan your day better in terms of the energy levels throughout the day. And then there's naturally there's yellow events happening over the weekend. Now, the most important part, and excuse me, I have to see why Gmail is so bad, agree with Gmail is good. I want to know why you're a fan of Outlook. I'm ready to get rid of it. From Outlook, who wants to get rid of Outlook?
Yeah.
I do. I do.
No, I strongly advise you not to. Outlook is a very heavy featured software. It's designed to handle a huge amount of information. Gmail is basically sloppy. Like, I don't want to waste our time explaining to you this, but you have to trust me on that.
One quick question. Could my Outlook be such a pain to work with because it's an older version?
I actually have to admit that the features that I'm using in Outlook have nothing to do with the older or newer version. No. You want to do the color categories as I'm suggesting to you now. So on Outlook, you go into the categories and you rename them. It's actually much simpler than doing the Gmail calendar, opening more calendars for getting the colors. You just go into categories, you rename them, and then every time you put an event inside the calendar, you just pick the color category and you're set to go. And I'll show you one more thing about Outlook that you might want to stick to that. So the most important thing in this system that I'm offering you now is that every Sunday night or Monday morning, you go into last week and you start forwarding and postponing everything that you haven't finished the week before, any tasks that was left behind. And I remind you that about 50% of the tasks that you plan to do, you will not do. And you will gracefully push them forward to next week and 2 months and 1 month further down the line. And there are meetings maybe that were scheduled that canceled in the last minute. You have to reschedule them. So what is left in your calendar are only the things that happened, and all the tasks are empty. So it may seem that you haven't done so much because, you know, you've forwarded all the tasks, and you may seem, okay, here's a picture of me going on vacation that really made me laugh when I took that picture. That's why I took it, because I was going on vacation. So you can see like there's a yellow in the weekend, and that was a long vacation. So all the 4 days that I was working, packed with orange tasks. This whole diary was packed with orange. But just as I was closing the computer to leave for my 2-week vacation, it seemed on my calendar that I wasn't doing anything this week because all the tasks were either completed or filed to folder or postponed and waiting for me 2 weeks down the line when I come back, and I can see in my eyes the amount of work that I have to that I have to deal with when I'm coming back from vacation. So it seems like as if I haven't done anything this week. So if you have a problem with that, where you know it seems empty, you can then change the color of the task that you finished from orange to, let's say, gray. Okay, so you gray color all the things that you finished. That way your calendar will be packed with things that you've done. In my case, I just delete. I don't care how it looks. But I've seen clients saying, oh, no. You know, I'm so proud of myself. I did so much. I don't want it to be empty. Fine, go ahead and gray it. Don't need to do it exactly the same way that I'm doing it. But look at what happens when I'm back from vacation. I can see in a bird eye view what is happening with this week, because coming back from vacation, you're packed with work. It takes, if I was on vacation for 2 weeks, it takes about 2 weeks to come to grip with everything that I missed out. But if you don't manage your calendar this way, then you come back from vacation and your week seems open and free. You seem like you have so much time on your hands, and you might start filling it with meetings. But, you know, this is not a realistic of what is happening in your life. You just want to keep it real. So that way I'm back from vacation. I can see that I'm going to be swamped with work. My inbox is packed with things that are just coming in. My capturing tool, my notebook is packed with ideas that, you know, and things that I've saved over the past 2 weeks. So I have to balance between my enormous inbox and my capturing tool and my calendar showing me things that were postponed from before I left. And then I have to prioritize and understand what am I going to do. So this gives me a good bird eye view of the fact that I'm very busy. So someone will call me up this week and say, let's have a meeting. I can say, listen, I can already see that my week is going to be hectic. I'm back from vacation. It's going to be wild. If it's urgent, fine, let's do the meeting. If not, let's please schedule it for the week after. So that way I'm getting better decisions as to how to plan my time, because I can see in a bird eye view what's happening with my life and my work because I'm using that system. Now I'm going to show you now, just so you know, tasks here, they're like, you know, they're like, they capture like 15 minutes or half a minute or half hour. It's 15 minutes. You can play around with that, but some of the tasks here will take longer. Some of the tasks will actually be even, will take less than 15 minutes to finish. So the idea is to use the calendar as an optional board, optional for the things I have to do. And then I'm choosing what to do this week out of all the options that I'm offering myself. And then next week, I will forward everything I haven't finished and reschedule it. I will open each and every item and I will decide, yeah, I'm going to try and tackle it this week. Oh, no, this is going to wait for 2 weeks' time. This is going to be pushed down a month. And I do have things pushed up down further, more than a month, 4 months and 6 months down my calendar. So it's very important to open each and every one of them and try to assume when you're going to get to it. But it's just a suggestion, okay? We're not obliged to do whatever the calendar tells us to do. It's not the idea. So this is an outlook for Jan, right? Am I saying your name right? Jen? Okay, you're muted, so I can't hear you, but whatever. So this is a picture of my Outlook. You can see that there's folders on one side. There's the inbox in the middle. There's a preview of my emails just to the right. And there's a preview of the calendar with all the colors. So if you right click on the calendar icon in Outlook, you can dock the peak. That's how you get a calendar preview. Also, if you right click on the calendar icon, you can open the calendar in a separate screen. So it's important when you work with Outlook, you work with both screens simultaneously, okay? That makes it a lot easier to work. Which in this you don't have on Gmail. For as far as I know, and correct me if anyone sees it differently, I'm not sure you can have a calendar. I'm pretty sure you may have a calendar preview on Gmail. You may have that. So if you want to take an email, let's say I emailed someone and I want to follow up on it in 2 weeks' time because I'm not sure that he will reply and I just want to make sure that the task is completed. So right after I emailed him, I take the email and I click on Move. This is in Outlook. Move, and I choose Calendar, as you can see in this screenshot. And the item moves to my calendar. And I then pick the color category, emails and tasks, as you can see. And I can then change. I have those, you have in the calendar, you can just write whatever you want. So I just write, I send it to, and I need to put after, okay, whatever I need to follow up on. And I choose the date. And you can see at the bottom left of the picture, there's an envelope. The original email waits for me inside the calendar. It's being drawn out of my inbox. It's no longer there. It's moving to my calendar. The original email sits and waits there. And I can then pick it up from the envelope and reply, forward, copy to folder, do whatever I want with the original email, okay, as it awaits in the calendar. So it's not just a preview of the email, it's actually the email sitting there inside the calendar. Meaning you're basically taking out anything that isn't for this week out of your inbox. What stays in your inbox are only the things you have to address this week. Anything that needs to be addressed for next week and further down the line moves to your calendar and is turned into a task for future follow-up. This is the system, Jan, that you asked about emails. That is how you only keep an inbox filled with whatever you have to do this week. Anything that isn't for this week, out of sight, okay? Taken care of. It's not falling in between. It's not getting lost, but it's definitely out of sight. It gives us a very clear mind to tackle whatever it is that is important for this week. Now, if you're doing the same on Gmail, so it's a little bit more clicks. So you're taking an email and you're clicking on the 3 dots and you're clicking add to tasks. That's how you turn an email into a task on Gmail. Then the tasks preview will appear on the right side and you can then add details and write whatever you want to write about the future follow-up that you need to do on this. And you're adding a date. And so this is adding a date. And this is inside the calendar now. So the task sits at the upper bar of the calendar, all your tasks will be wrapped up there together, and they're already color coded. But in Gmail, the email stays in your inbox. It only copies an email to the tasks. So you still have to go back to the inbox and file away the email itself. So I recommend that you open up a folder named calendar, and everything that you've moved to the calendar, you will then file it away. So again, you will have the same result of having an inbox showing everything you need to do this week. Everything that isn't for this week is out of sight.
But wouldn't you recommend to keep the task? Actually, I like this idea to have it both in my inbox, because it's my main, maybe previous question, the task will be one of the two tools that I'm choosing, or it's a third one now?
No, this is not capturing. This is already, now we're executing. Now we're sorting, we're prioritizing. We're going through our inbox, we're prioritizing. This I'm going to do this week. I'm going to leave it in the inbox. This I'm going to do, I'm going to follow up next week. So I'm adding it to a task and I'm moving it out of the way. So I'm basically prioritizing, I'm sorting information, I'm prioritizing, and then I'm executing it through my calendar. So this is not capturing. And I do recommend, it's a good question, yeah, I do recommend not capturing directly into your calendar. Don't use your calendar as a capturing tool. Use your calendar as an execution tool after you've prioritized and you sorted the information, and then you're starting to play around with it because it's a suggestion board for everything you can do, and you're just picking up what are the things you're going to do this week. So when you send a thing, when you turn an email into a task, as you can see, it will show up in the upper part of your calendar. So every week, when you start the week, you will see a pile of tasks that are waiting for you that you've sent from previous weeks. So every week, I suggest that you pull them down so they don't wrap up just at the upper part. You want to pull them down so they will actually grab time inside your calendar. Okay, so you don't have the false feeling that you have time because your calendar is wide open. No, take the task down so they will actually take time inside your calendar. That will give you a more precise idea of what you're handling with this week.
It
So
goes into one date. It goes automatically inbox to task. It goes automatically to the calendar, right? But then it goes into one day.
It doesn't go automatically. You have to choose a date.
All right.
See? Add date. You can just use it as a task, but I'm telling you, don't use it as a task only. Use it as a task that sits inside the calendar.
Yes.
That will give you an understanding of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like this is a bird eye view. You want to have everything happening in your life inside your calendar with the right colors, of course, but showing up in the calendar so you get a good understanding of what you're handling. So add the date and then it will show up. And then drag it down. Every week, drag them down.
Is this different than the Outlook? Or this is Outlook?
No, this is Gmail. This was Outlook.
Got it.
This is Outlook. Move to calendar, okay? Outlook's got 4 clicks and Gmail's got 6 clicks to operate the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Now, in Gmail, because most of you are using Gmail, look at the colors on the left. So there's the main Gmail calendar, which is under my name. So that's blue for work meetings and phone calls. And then I added another calendar. I called it FYI. I gave it the color green. And then I added another calendar and I called it private meetings. And I gave it the color red. And then there's task, which is already a prepared calendar inside your Gmail. You don't have to open a special calendar for that. You just transfer emails into tasks and that will give you already the color. So basically, if you're using Gmail, you have to open 2 more calendars. One you already have, 2 you already have, and 2 you're going to open up new ones. Now, you can use another category for urgent issues only, time-sensitive issues, and you can give it the color red. And so if you want to follow up on something that is time-sensitive, it needs to happen next Monday, you can't postpone it, so use it as red. And then when you get in the morning on Monday, you can see in the calendar that you've got 2 red tasks, and you're just going to do them first. And all the rest, they're not time sensitive and you can play around with them and you can say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. It's okay. They're not time sensitive. Make sure to not use, not abuse that color. So you will actually see the red ones and act on them. If you use everyone in red, you can't, that is not a good priority setting, because you're abusing the color and it's not going to mean anything. So really use it very sensitive, with sensitive, Paul, my kid. Now let's say you have a very long task, you know, like a big task, something that is big, not just, you know, calling the gardener. Okay, something like you know, putting up a new website or launching a campaign, whatever. So you want to work out. My system is like using what is the next best step and putting that in the task list. So just understand what's the next best step. Put it in your calendar for next week, and then start operating from that. So, and then after you finish that step, you move on to what is the next best step. So try not to write big things in the calendar, like launch a website. Okay, that's too big. Try to narrow it down to smaller steps, because you can, as you can see in the pictures I showed you, that's a lot of small steps for projects. That's a lot of projects. That's small steps. One of the projects that I recently did, it took me a year and a half, but I've created an automated, diversified investment portfolio for our retirement. And I'm 40, okay? So that's like 30 years from now. But it took me a year and a half to put down a portfolio investment and diversify it and automate it and learn how to fucking do that. It took me time to learn how to do that, but it was a task that it was major. And the way I did it was exactly the same system I'm showing you now. Baby steps, putting in the calendar, postponing as much as needed. Sometimes I would change. Sometimes the task was to call my brother-in-law, because he's a CFO and I want to consult with him on financial issues. So the task was just calling him. That was just a task, but it was just baby steps inside that major task of creating that diversified portfolio. In no way was that a written task in my calendar. I did not write, you know, launch an automated diversified portfolio investment, whatever. That was not the task. The task has always been the next best step for each and every one of the things I want to. That's why I told you, when you have a year-long things you want to apply, write them down and then start operating and postponing them inside the calendar in the system. And within a year, you'll see that you've managed to do a lot. But if you just write the bigger headlines, you get confused. You don't know what the next best step is. What am I going? Where am I going? Okay, so that's about the next best step. And when you file a task and email to your calendar, it no longer distracts your mind. This is our biggest achievement, peace and quiet. So that it allows you to focus and prioritize what it is you have to do today and what are you going to do tomorrow, and just gives you a very clear and good understanding. And then you have a system. And when you have a system that you work inside a system, then you're operating with a lot more ease and not with the FOMO or fear of missing out, because you have a system. Okay, questions up until now before I go a little bit deeper into the calendar? Okay. So as I said, look at the headline. Start working, start procrastinating or postponing. Procrastination in ancient times meant waiting for the right time. Procrastination isn't bad for you. It's actually great. You want to let things procrastinate, and you want to postpone, and you want to let things kind of sit and get energized by the universe, basically. But you don't want things to fall in between. Once you have a system where you're procrastinating with purpose and things are not falling in between and things are not getting lost, then it's good to procrastinate. When is it not good to procrastinate? When you haven't written it anywhere and it just, you just forget things. So you procrastinate, but you forget to do them. So that's not a good system. But having a managed way to procrastinate is what I'm offering you here to do. So it's a very different approach from lots of, ideas running out in the internet today where they're teaching you how to stop being a procrastinator. And I'm coming here and telling you, be a procrastinator on purpose with a managed system in the background to do that. So I'm inviting you to try that new state of mind. So I'm going into those, into the list here. So like I said, calendar in an open tab at all times. So you want to work with our inbox and our calendar and a capturing tool. So these are the three main screens we're going to have open all the time. Rule of thumb, tasks and emails due for the next 7 or 10 days, stay put. We don't start moving things to the calendar if they're for the next week or 10 days. Copy all tasks from your capturing tool to your calendar. Copy all tasks from your capturing tool to your calendar that are not for this week. Anything that is for this week stays in your capturing tool. You don't want to start moving it to the calendar. You want to do it, and then you're going to be deleting it from the capturing tool. Don't waste time on forwarding everything to the calendar. No way. You only forward from your capturing tool to your calendar things that are not for this week. Okay, that's very, very important to keep in mind. Assign each task what you think is the right day and time. We're just assuming because we have a search box inside the calendar. So if you've pushed something for 4 months down the line and you need it earlier, you can always search it and it will pop up. So you don't have to think too much of where you're going to be pushing things down the calendar. You can just do it with ease because you can always take them back. Don't forget to assign the right color. It's perfectly fine to forward tasks in your calendar. Each one has a different life cycle. Be aware of the reoccurrence feature. Use it wisely. Otherwise, you will dismiss it often. I really, really warmly recommend that you don't use the reoccurrence feature too much, because once we use the reoccurrence feature, we get banner blind. We don't see those tasks that are in reoccurrence. Rather, I suggest you move the things manually. So even if you've finished a task, but you have to repeat it next week, copy it and throw it to next week in the calendar. Try really to use the reoccurrence for very, very small amount of tasks, really ones that you know that you're going to be doing even if they won't be written. Because like I said, once we use the automation of the reoccurrence, we tend to disrespect it. We don't even see it. We get blind to it. Beware of the reminders feature. That's in Outlook, so this is for Jen. Beware of flagging as a method to prioritize. A lot of people flag 50 items in their inbox. That is not a good prioritization system. That is not a way to prioritize anything. You want to keep up to 5 starred or flagged items in your inbox. That's it. Don't use more than 3 to 5 flags or stars in your inbox. That's my rule of thumb. Because I don't even have to explain, right? Why is that? Because, otherwise, again, it's not prioritizing anything. If you just have to revisit everything all the time, it's not a good method. Invest 30 minutes every day at sorting your calendar. And what I want to say with that is that it doesn't have to necessarily be 30 minutes every day, but do put time into sorting information and moving it to the right time and place and putting in the links that are relevant and editing the notes inside the calendar. Put the time into that. Don't be afraid to waste time over organizing information. The more you organize that information, and of course, in relevance to the method I'm offering you, the more you organize information, the faster the execution and more precise and better the execution will be. So it's perfectly fine to put time into sorting information. Keep that in mind. Don't dash into doing. Rather sit, plan, move things around, clean your capturing tool. Don't keep things there that are not for this week. Move them so the capturing tool keeps being deleted. It's emptying. You don't want to keep the capturing filled with things. You want to delete it. It's just a temporary place for items, the capturing tools, okay? And now I'm going to get to one of the main things that I'm going to be offering you today. Use calendar for all information types. We don't have to use the calendar necessarily just for tasks and emails. We can use it to store and manage information. For example, I'm going to be sending you, me or Aline, whatever, we're going to be sending you an email with this presentation and with a text summary of what I was saying. And there's a lot of content here that you might want to to take action. So what I'm suggesting is that you take those emails, you turn them into a calendar item. In the calendar item, you can add everything that you've just written down. Maybe some of you have written down in your notebook ideas of things that I'm saying. Add that down into the calendar invite. So you can delete it from your capturing tool. Everything you've written, just put it into the calendar invite. The calendar invite will have your summary, will have my summary, will have my presentation, and then you push it down for next week or for 2 weeks' time. And then a week or two goes by and you open that task email again and you look at it and say, oh, I did that. Now I want to do this. And now I'm going to be, you know, operating on that advice. And I'm just going to take one bit of it every time. And then I'm going to push it again, close it and push it down for 2 weeks time afterwards. So you might be pushing this calendar invite with all the actions that I've just suggested about a month or two until you've finished everything you wanted to take out of this class. And once you finish taking everything you wanted, then you can file it away inside a digital folder for it to dust, okay? Dust. We don't file anything that we need to be reminded of, that is still live, that is still needs to take action on it. Anything that is still live and we need to take action on it, use it inside the calendar to be reminded. So you're following up on your tasks. So tomorrow you can only do a small thing of what I suggested, and you know that next week you're going to be doing another small thing. And maybe it will take you 2 months to apply everything I've suggested, but it's fine. As long as it's in the process, even if it takes time, it doesn't get lost. And then we are gradually taking actions and finishing up with things that way. But it doesn't stay in your inbox and it's not filed away, so it's still kept alive inside our system. So you can use your calendar to follow up on classes, to follow up on courses that you're taking. You can use it, for example, this presentation that you're seeing and basically everything that I've developed in this method has been done over several years. Every time I have another idea, I see another article, I watch another video, I get another research, and I get ideas that I want to add into those slides. If I were to send my graphic designer every idea as it comes into my mind, I will spend every day back and forth with my graphic designer about updating this presentation, which is not efficient at all. Instead, I have a calendar invite and it's titled, main presentation, whatever. And inside that note, I copy everything that I've captured, all the ideas that I have, I just copy it to that note. And once every 3 or 4 months, I will then send my graphic designer all the corrections I need to do in one email, and she'll send it back to me. And within 30 minutes, I will be finished with updating my presentation. So that is how I systemize information so it doesn't get lost and it just wraps up and it waits for the right time. Yes, Yael.
I wonder about I like this idea of I have all these emails that I want to read or articles, right? They're sitting in the inbox and I forget. So, but I really would like to read them. Like today, I would like to go back to it. So you say that if I put it under task, it will go into my calendar. But again, will it also stay, be with all my other tasks on Monday? I want it in a, you
can put it any day you want, but if you're going to be putting up all those links into OneNote, it's going to take about 2 hours, to read through them. So you also want a task to be showing as 2 hours inside your calendar.
Right.
It's important that you can see that's going to be taking time. It's not 15-minute task. It's not emailing someone. It's reading. It's watching. It's going to take time.
So now I'm thinking maybe, all this should be on the calendar for the weekend. Okay, thank you.
Right. And then you're pushing it because you're not going to be watching all of it. Maybe on next weekend, you want to be watching 1 or 2. So you're going to delete the ones you watched, and then the rest is going to be postponed for the week or month after. And so it's always beside you, waiting whenever you have time. You can just push it out of your calendar and watch or read. If you're waiting for someone in the car and you all of a sudden have 30 minutes to spend, you've got the calendar invite ready with all the information you've stacked there. It's ready for you to use whenever is convenient to you. So definitely use it that way. Now, basically, I have more advanced methods to reading and watching and using other apps. I don't have time to get into that, but maybe we'll do it, again. But either way, using the calendar for this period of time is a great option. We don't want to, add more and more tools right now. Just kind of gradually grow into that. As you can see, I've got more example on this slide, like TV shows. I love Netflix. I got lots of recommendations of what to watch. So I have a Netflix item in my calendar, and I just write, and everything I capture, I just put it in there. And then every week it's being postponed with me. And whenever I have time, I just search it, and I'll just, you know, pick something to watch, and I'll delete it from the invite, and then it will be pushed again for the week after. So that way the information is alive and available. Questions about this slide? Okay. So basically, this is what the time we have for today. There's a summary of everything is anyone using a project management system? No one is using a software of a PM, like a Trello or Monday or something like that. So, okay, good. Okay, so everything I said is written here. So you will be able to visit this again. And look at the last points here on this slide. Check the previous week in your calendar to ensure there are no loose ends. Constantly check the week ahead to organize and manage the workload. Okay, so those are your action items. Those are the systems you have to address to get used to in order to operate the system successfully. So this is a picture of the three main tools: the inbox, the calendar, and the capturing tool. And the process is shown to you: capturing, sorting, prioritizing, and only then executing. Now look at this slide. There are 4 parts to the journey. Okay, capture, sort, prioritize, execute. 3 parts of them is just organizing the work, and only a fourth of it, a quarter of it is execution. So this is basically the ratio. 80% of your time, you're organizing, you're planning, you're basically getting your system in place, and only a quarter of the time you're executing your work. Not 80% execution and 20% planning, just the opposite, just the opposite ratio. And this is what is written here. As you can see on 3 and 4, cleaning, sorting, grouping, moving data around, 80% of your time. HIME execution is 20%. Now, what is HIME execution? HIME stands for high impact, minimal effort. You want to execute all your tasks to when they require the least amount of effort from you, and will then provide you with the maximum impact. Now, we all have different HIME for different tasks. If Yael wants to read articles, she can think to herself, well, if I need to read and I want to do it, what it would be the easiest time for me in the week to be reading articles, your answer could be Friday night. Okay, I don't know. Friday night between 8 to 10, that would be your HIME execution for reading articles. But for me, it would be completely, it would be a Sunday afternoon. We all have different HIME for each of our tasks. So you want to tap into your energy level and communication preferences and start scheduling things in your calendar in accordance to your own HIME. When it's going to require the least amount of effort from me. Some people, if they need to go out on a jog or do their sports activities, they will find it easier to do it 6 o'clock in the morning. Others will find it a nightmare to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. That is definitely not their HIME for sports. Others will say 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they are, and they're also, madmen's, jogging around at 9 o'clock at night, which when I look at them in the park, I'm like, how can anyone jog at 9 o'clock at night? For some people, that is their HIME for sports. So we all have a different HIME, and we want to tap into that. We want to look for the easy way out. I know it sounds counterintuitive to many things that we were, brought up onto, but in our chaotic information era, if you really want to get things done, you have to think through that logic of finding your easy way out of things, because in today's chaotic information era, all the options are on the table, and we can reach everyone, and we can have any tool we want, and we can learn anything we want. Everything is reachable within, tap of our fingers. So it's very important that we know what we want to get, that we know who we want to reach. what we want to do with a computer before we work on the computer. So kind of, dream your way out of what you want to do, and then you will find a way to do it. But you first have, it's like going on YouTube. If you don't know what you're looking for, you want to learn about money. If you just write money, you're going to be, tapped into an enormous amount of results. It's not going to get you anything. So you want to have a longer tail understanding what exactly is it you're searching for in YouTube. You have to have a good understanding before you tap into YouTube. Same goes to working methods. Okay, think before you act. Think a lot before you act, because everything is possible. And you're just going to get lost if you're going to be acting on everything all the time. So do a lot more thinking and planning rather than dashing and doing. Basically, that's it. I've put in the presentation articles you can write, and you can read. Actually, this is one of my favorite of all times, Why the Best Things in Life Are All Backwards. I really strongly recommend. Is anyone following Mark Manson? He's very known in the US, right? Okay. It's a very good article. You can enjoy it. And again, it goes on looking for the easy way out of things, and just understanding that it works that way. Books, Essentialism, if you want to read. So there's, just more articles that I follow up on and I recommend. And there's this famous quote from Abraham Lincoln: "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." And this is exactly what we discussed. 80% of the time, sharpen your axe, and only 20% execute. So what I've offered you today is a lot of ideas of how to sharpen your axe and get yourself prepared for your workday.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm here.
Can I ask a question? I have some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said to use the calendar. This is Michelle. So you said to use the calendar for things that are a week away, not for the current week. So I'm still really confused as to what to do with all of my emails that are in my AOL email. How to organize those, how to prioritize those, get them out of my inbox and to do something. That was one question. And then my other question, is there a way to organize tasks for things that I'm expecting other people in my staff to do so that I could give it to them as opposed to me doing it myself? And how do I then follow up on that? So 2 different questions.
So basically you can assign tasks to other people. And that is how basically you forward tasks to them. But in terms of following up on that, I would suggest that you make a rule of thumb inside your team that every time you assign someone a task, he needs to give you a sign that he received it. He's going to be taking care of it, that, it's clear, he knows what he needs to do. And he will, and you will see a way, you will get a notification once he finished it. Because otherwise, if you need to follow up on everyone's tasks, including yourself, it's too much. Sometimes you need to use a project management software, which will enable you to see what everyone on your team is doing and how they're progressing and what they finished. So you might want to use, a more organized or a bigger software rather than just the calendar for managing tasks. So it depends on how, big the team is and what exactly are the needs. And in terms of your email, what is that relevant of the AOL account? I didn't quite understand. How is that?
No, because you said don't use Gmail. I use AOL. So I just have like 4,000 emails that it's like, it's impossible to organize them. So I need to.
But you can't possibly go through everyone. You can just.
Exactly. And so you talked about having a capture tool. So how do I use the capture tool to deal with my emails that I have to deal with in the current week?
So what I suggest is, if you have 4,000 emails in your account, and naturally you don't know even what you've got there because it's a number that you can't handle. So what you do is you go through the last month and you start moving things to the calendar you need to follow up on from the last month. Okay, so you pull them out of your inbox, you put them into the calendar, so you're following up on them. And then you're leaving inside the calendar, I'm sorry, the inbox, anything that needs to be done this week, and all the rest of the emails, you need to archive them. So basically, when you archive them, they will still be available to you when you search for something. So, you know, they'll pop up if you need them, but they have to be out of sight. You can't possibly run an inbox with 4,000 emails. Take the last month, organize that, and all the rest archive. Have a clean slate. And
Thanks.
just so you know, my golden number for emails is when you finish your workday. If you want to have a good sign that you're in control and you have a system and everything is under control, is if you have 20 or less than that emails in your inbox. Not 0, 20 emails or less. So if you're finishing a workday and you have 20 emails or less, then that's your sign that everything is under control and you're doing fine. But if you have 30 or 40 or 50 emails in your inbox, that means you have to sort them again. That means you have to go through them again, and you have to move to the calendar, and you have to delete, and you have to file it away, and you have to, you know, make decisions about emails sitting in your inbox. Don't go over 20. I mean, every day we sit on the computer, we'll have maybe 100, but at the end of the day, you want to aim at 20. That's your number of knowing that everything is under control.
Okay, thanks.
This is Sandy. I'm curious about, you know, all those really old emails and how you can select all of them and archive them. You know what I mean? Like I sometimes go through, scroll. I only see 100 at a time.
For Gmail, you're asking?
Yes, I am.
I know that there is a feature to archive, to tag all of them and archive them together. I have to admit that I haven't done it myself. My Gmail contains 20 or so. Has anyone here working with Gmail knows how to archive everything, not just what you see on the preview, on the one view?
I'm sure there's a way, Sandy. Aline, do you know how to archive more than like 4,000 emails on your Gmail? How do you make it all go as a group?
How to
I
delete?
go from, you know, 50 on.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You highlight
There is a
it,
way to archive all of them.
and then it says all 50 conversation are selected. Select, and then you have like a message that says select all. I have 15,847 conversations in the primary tab. So, and then I can, you know, select all of them, and whatever action I choose is the one that will be applied.
well, I don't want to select all. You know, you can get that thing of select all, everything. But I want to select from like, you know, somewhere down there on.
So what you do, you open another inbox, okay? You open another tab or you open another inbox, and you move to that tab or inbox the things that you want to follow up on from this month. So you take them out of the main tab, and then whatever you have left in the main tab, you'd select all and you archive them. And then you can, you know, either put them back into the cleaned inbox that you now have, or operate from the new tab that you've opened up. Is that, did you get the logic of what I was suggesting?
It sounds good. Yeah, I've not ever done it, but I'll give it a shot.
So try to push them away from the main inbox. Once you've done that, you can then delete all or archive all and have a start with a clean slate.
On the Gmail, you can label it.
Label it?
Label.
Yeah, so if you click on the top left corner, you will see 3 subjects, and you click on that, then it gives you an option for label. It's kind of like a folder. You create a folder. So for example, if you, this email is from an online customer, you label it as an online customer, or if, you know, if you want to label this is an email from a supplier, and then you put it, and I'm going to do it next week, or yeah. So that's the way to, it's similar like Outlook, you put it in different folders.
Right, in Outlook, you file things away, you don't label them, but you can do the same in Gmail. You can just push them away to a folder, and then clean everything that you have, and then you can push it back to the clean clean inbox that you've just created yourself. Push them out and push them in again.
So is Outlook a capturing tool, or is Outlook a calendar, or is Outlook both?
Outlook is a big software. You can have OneNote. OneNote is one of the features inside Outlook that you can use as a capturing tool. But Outlook is not necessarily a capturing tool. It's more of prioritizing, sorting, and executing, and working with a calendar.
Okay. And what's your favorite capturing tool?
Well, it really is very personal. I personally use a notebook in my email, my inbox. But you know, lots of people use lots of tasks apps like AnyDo or bunch of million others, tasks apps for all sorts. So it's very personal. You can, and lots of people don't like notebooks. Like I love real notebooks. Lots of people don't like that. They prefer digital notebooks, like a Google Keep, which is a digital notebook. So try to choose those two capturing tools, like I said, and then see how it works and see if it's intuitive enough, it's fast enough, it's as user experience fun enough for you. It's very personal.
All right.
But you want to grab information out of your brain as fast as you want so you can concentrate on whatever you're doing right now. Because if you have a thought that is bothering you, it really ruins your efficiency. You want to be 100% present in any given moment. You want to be mindful. When you're 100% present in any given moment and your mind is concentrated on something, then you're giving your best at it. But if your mind is constantly thinking about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I mustn't forget to call that, and if it's occupied with thoughts, then you're not giving 100% of yourself in any given moment. That's why having a capturing tool that is fast, intuitive, and is available is super crucial to giving an efficient work day. So you can just drop everything that is bothering you because you know you're going to be taking care of it at a different time and place because you now have a system. It's not going to get lost. It's okay to answer the phone and say, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Is this urgent? If not, I'll get back to you. It's fine because you're just going to write down in your capturing tool and you will get back to that person when it will be the right time and place for you to talk to them. But it doesn't have to be right now when you're in the middle of a meeting.
So if your capturing tool is email, I would just send myself an email that says, call Joe Blow. Is that what you're basically saying?
Yes.
Call that person.
Yes, but I don't suggest that you send yourself an email through the email app because sending yourself an email through the email app requires about 6 clicks. That's too much. That's why I use the hack of a widget, which is very intuitive to send myself quickly emailing myself a note. But if you're opening the email app, so you click on the email app, then create new email. Then you have to put the email address. Sometimes you'll have to put a subject line or it will pop the question, are you going to be sending this without a subject line? Okay, that's a lot of clicks. That's not intuitive, fast, or available. That's not a good system. So even when you're working with an inbox as a capturing tool, you need to have that buffer inside in the middle to make emails faster. As a faster capturing tool.
Okay.
All right.
More questions?
Stay on the line, guys, before we say goodbye. But we can say goodbye to Batchen, but you guys please stay on, okay? For another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome. Feel
Good
free
night
to
in
reach out
Israel.
whenever you have a question.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
So much.
Oh, wait a minute, but Aline, you have to be a host. So if I go out,
yeah.
it won't.
Pass it on to me. Can you make me a host?
Oh, I have to do it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
While Aline, you can also
make me a host. Don't ignore what I just did. Make me a host.
Aline, how do I do that?
Right click. You hover over my picture and you click on the 3 dots. And
yeah. Okay. Did I do that? Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So how do I get out without closing you
leave.
guys?
You
Huh?
You just leave.
I just leave. Okay. Good
Thank
luck with
you.
the pandemic. Take care. Be healthy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Can we do, how do we do it now? Aline, can you put us?
Once Batchen leaves, I have the control, and I will, and it'll
Okay.
automatically be gallery view.
Okay, all right.
You have the controls now?
I can, yeah, that's it.
Nope.
Okay, we're good.
And somebody's doing like using a tape.
Yeah.
Who is shipping there?
I hear packing tape.
Yeah, somebody's shipping, which is good. Thank you, Alina. I just want to say something and before we go into the future for us as a group. I must say that I was happy to hear that we only use choose your two tools, because I always prefer email on everything. Just email me. Like a lot of us text each other or WhatsApp, and it was good. But I must say that I also I don't know you have to use the calendar enough. So for me, that's what I took from today, that I will go and work on the calendar, learn more about how to use my week into the calendar, reminders, tasks, articles, so much to read. Especially Aline sends us so much information, and I keep it in an inbox. How do you go back to it? But anyway, thank you so much. We do feel smarter after the month. Thank you.
And one more addition is that, I mean, the original Batchen presentation is like a whole day. It's a 9-hour thing, okay? And she condensed it to an hour and a half just to cover really important things. But she was also kind enough to share with me a list of technical tools that you can use daily. It's just, we decided it's much better to teach the theory, but the tools it's a list of tools. Something like, just an example, something that I really like is the Evernote. Oh, I think we covered that.
Evernote, but maybe we should look into that again together as a group, as Evernote. Right. I think we should all enjoy that. Yeah.
So in one of our Mondays, I can cover the list. It's like, I think it's 15 tools or so, something like that.
That's a lot, Aline. Can you choose 5?
15 is a lot.
All right.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Let's go to Evernote.
We'll yeah. Okay.
All right.
We'll split it.
And also, I wanted to mention that we definitely wanted to cover the oh my God, client's book. Remember, Michelle raised it, and we all agreed that this is like messy. What happens when the manager leaves, and she has the book of clients, how to kind of organize it and manage that. So Aline is going to cover that in one of our Mondays, correct?
Yeah.
That's another thing that we have on the list to do. So even though Monday is Memorial Day, we are planning to be on the call. Are you okay with it? I mean, are you going on a barbecue? What do you do?
I wish.
I know, it just, I wonder, holiday does feel a little different. I mean, I know that's one of the problems lately, that there's no difference between Monday to Saturday, and I think it's a problem. But maybe you do want to quiet down on Monday, but we are planning to be on the call. So is that okay?
12:30?
12:30. Yes. Do we want to do wait, we're moving to now Mondays only. You want to keep it only Monday 1 p.m. instead of 12:30, so California has more time? Is it better? Yeah. So maybe we should always do now 1 o'clock Monday, because we only meet once a week. Yes?
Yes.
I think that's a good idea. Okay, so we see each other Monday at 1, even though it's a holiday. We'll celebrate together.
Can I just add really quick? I've said it before, but I just want to say it again. What you have created, and Aline and Fatima, what you've created here is really quite amazing. And it took a lot of your time and your energy. And you talked me into coming, and I'm appreciative. But sorry, I'm spitting my lunch out. I just want to say thank you again, because it's something to look forward to every day, as we've all had to navigate this in our own ways that we navigate. And for me, it's been a very, whether I've taken everything you've said to heart, it's been very instrumental in helping me navigate forward in my business. And then to be able to, I've seen all you ladies at shows. I've never really spoken to many of you, but now I get to hug you when I see you next time. So, or we'll,
Hopefully.
whatever it is.
Hopefully.
I just want to say thank you. I think what you've done is really a mitzvah, and it's
wonderful.
That's
to be here and totally learning. And I'm thinking, what else we need to learn? It's really
so much, and we need to review stuff.
So much. But you know what, Michelle, I thought about it because I know you will go online soon. When we started the whole process, we learned so much. Every month we have things like Klaviyo for us is new too as a company. So it's nice to share the news and and you have so much information that you share with us, and it's amazing that even though I don't understand most of the things, really seriously, personally I don't understand most of it, but as we said before, as a business owner, if I meet now a professional, I know what they're talking about. And to me, that's very important. If you throw the name Klaviyo, I know what you're talking about. Doesn't mean I'll do it. Outlook, actually, Fatima already texted me that we should look into it because Gmail is annoying. And why don't we give up Gmail? Because
No. I tried Outlook once. No. I mean, and I told that to Bakhan as well. I mean, no.
Okay, we're not leaving Gmail.
No.
But
I mean, Gmail has its problems and Outlook has its problems, but no.
Just like Shopify and Lightspeed, but it just, all these words are now familiar to me. So even if I didn't learn the detail and the technical things, I will hire someone and I'll know what they're talking about. And I can say, no, I don't want to, no, don't do that. I heard it's not great. That's it. I don't need to know more. I mean, Andrea knows to do these things. I mean, you're technical. A lot of people are technical. I'm not. So I thank you, Aline, for enlightening us and make us smarter. And my head is always bigger, but I feel it. But it's very helpful. Thank you so much. And we will, it's good to have Monday. So it's now, we don't have to wait too many days. Erica, you okay? A little better.
I will be.
I actually didn't think that meeting on a daily basis was a waste of any time at all. I looked forward to it every single day. And quite frankly, I'm a bit sad that we're not going to be getting together on a daily basis every day, especially till we're open, because I'm going to miss you guys every day.
We feel the same, actually. But Michelle, a lot of people just went back to work now, and they're texting me, emailing me, I'll hear the recording. A lot of people are on Instagram, they cannot really join us anymore because they are opening. So it's good news in a way. Like we should open. It's amazing to be in the office and not ship and be so busy. And so I think we did use the time so well. And
really well.
That's why we were happy about Memorial. We said, wait, if we don't meet on Friday, let's do Monday, because then it's too far. Like, we will miss you. Totally.
That Klaviyo thing, when we saw that yesterday, oh my God, I haven't been that excited about anything in a really, 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 really long time. And that combined with doing an online website is just so exciting to me.
It is.
What are you using now, Michelle?
I use Constant Contact.
And I wasn't able to join yesterday, so that's interesting to know.
Well, it's going to be really terrific, Klaviyo, when I go to e-commerce. That's really when it'll change dynamically. If I change to Klaviyo now, it's just another email system. It's really no different. But it's when I go to e-commerce that it is just so dynamic and so exciting. And I'm going to ask I asked my POS person to contact Klaviyo in order to find it if there could be some sort of an integration with my POS system, because then if that was integrated with my POS system, oh my God, how amazing it would be.
And also, Sandy, what I learned yesterday that I didn't know, that Andrea said that she's using Lightspeed as POS. I thought Lightspeed can only be the e-commerce, but no, it can be POS. Right, Andrea? You said that.
Yeah, Lightspeed started as a point of sale.
and you love it. So
I haven't used it yet, but I'm very excited to try it because I think I can only grow from
I can't wait to hear.
information all connected.
I haven't done anything after I heard it was not Melanie's favorite. So I can't wait to find out from you how you love it.
No, you see, Erica, she's not talking about the
Not the
e-commerce.
e-commerce.
She's doing the POS Lightspeed. She's switching into Lightspeed only for POS.
POS.
Yeah.
What's your POS now, Andrea?
QuickBooks.
And you don't, oh, interesting.
Can I pose that question? Because we're in the process of trying to decide if we want to upgrade our system or switch POSs. And we've done some research. And is there anything out there that people really, really love? My issue is right now we're using NCR.
That's what we discussed yesterday.
And
where everybody was quiet.
did we miss? Sorry.
Yeah,
Well, somebody made
Anyway,
a
just
sale
curious
on
if there's something out there people
Shopify.
That was me.
No, I mean
Love that
you didn't
sound.
answer, Wendy.
Love that sound.
Me too.
I use the QuickBooks POS. I don't really have issues with it. Are you switching because it will automatically talk to the?
Yeah. Do you use a desktop version or like I think there was an iPad version. I use desktop.
Yeah, I use desktop.
We use desktops.
It's not cloud-based. My information doesn't get where it needs to be for it to be useful. So like Michelle is saying, I need my in-store customer base to be connected, in Klaviyo. I need it to be connected to my web store so I can see what they buy in both places. I need my rewards program to be connected because I'm wasting so much time doing 12 steps when it could be one.
Well, so sometimes they have the systems have plugins. Like I know I'm guessing that Retail Pro has a plugin to get to Shopify, but it costs an arm and a leg, to get that plugin and to hire the people and to pay for that plugin.
Yeah, to get my Shopify sales in, I need a third party. It could ship it to QuickBooks Financial, but it's not ideal. It's not working for me right now.
It was nice to hear the click of Shopify. You see, Michelle, you didn't recognize the sound. That was somebody got a sale on Shopify.
Yeah.
Right.
It makes you happy when it wakes you up in the night. You don't.
Oh my God, yes. Last night I was scared to oblivion.
You leave your phone on at night?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just started Shopify?
What was it called? Mofo? Or whatever it was.
FOMO.
FOMO.
What will you mean? That's it.
I have a 17-year-old with FOMO.
I got a 90-year-old grandmother.
I wanted to say, if you don't have parents, why would the phone be on?
You have children.
You have children. Okay. All right. Andrea, why do you have your phone on? Mom is going to be okay.
Shopify. It's okay.
Well, see, Michelle, it's a pleasure to have Shopify. In the middle of the night, you have this ringing. Women don't.
All right.
sleep.
Soon. So this new thing with Facebook and being able to sell on Facebook, do you have to have an e-platform in order to be able to do it, or is that the e-platform?
Aline, that's a good question. For Facebook store, do you need to have an e-commerce or you build it on Facebook as an online store?
Well, right now, you need to, you can create it on Facebook, but it's going to be insane for you guys to create it on Facebook. It's much better to create it on Shopify with a spreadsheet and then just connect it with one click. But I just wanted to say that I got some insider information, not insider information, but it's like a glossy plus type of information about Facebook Shops, the new one. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it in the group so that everyone can read exactly how is it going to be different. I haven't read it myself. It was during the presentation that I got it.
Okay, it's new, so we don't know yet.
Well, Shopify has always been in some way connected to Facebook on my Facebook, and I think that might be true for others. And then yesterday, I noticed it kind of went through the, like, everything just was there. You understand what I mean? Like, I mean, it just was like, oh my God. So I don't know if Facebook just sort of heave-hoed on it or what.
What do you mean? I don't understand what happened?
Well, so like as a general matter, we connected Shopify to Facebook, and there's always a place, you know, you could shop these things. There are a few things that always show up there, right? Not everything. But yesterday when I went onto my, you know, that page, it was like, everything was sort of like there. And then I had to get back to the page. I had to press post to get out of that, all those things that you could buy.
So maybe, did you update the store, the Shopify, so it updated on the, did you reconnect to Facebook? Did you?
I don't know, we were uploading onto Shopify yesterday, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're uploading onto Facebook.
It does.
It does?
Whatever's published on Shopify is
New?
visible on Facebook.
When it's new, it just is right there in your face?
If it's published in Shopify, it's published on Facebook.
You need to uncheck in the list of items on that right side.
And there's a way to bulk do it. Yeah, you can bulk uncheck it.
Hi, I'm Jan. I'm from Pomegranate. Can you see me? Can everybody see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have had a website for this store for 11 years. I have had a POS system. Retail Pro, QuickBooks, Lightspeed. Our store is retiring. We are closing. But if we had to do it again, from everything I learned from these Zoom meetings, I would do Lightspeed POS, Shopify, and Klaviyo. And those are the ones that I would do. If I had to set up the store all over again, okay? And I thought maybe I should share this with you because I have been doing this for 11 years for Pomegranate. But we are retiring. So, and I'll be here for the next couple of Mondays. We have to sell everything. We're sort of illegally open. We've been doing appointments, but we have a lot of stock. But I thought it would help that, you know, I've watched all of these and I'm really quiet, but I had Retail Pro. I would never use it again. I had QuickBooks. I had the first website I had made by somebody for us. Then we went and I found that the problem, I have no problem with Lightspeed e-commerce, but I had a problem in the beginning because they weren't verifying the addresses and I got scammed for like $12,000. So I use authorize.net to collect the money from the website to secure my money. But I would change it. I've learned so much. These have been the best things and I look forward to them all the time. I'm just usually quiet because I'm leaving, okay? And I don't know where I'm going or what I want to do, but Pomegranate will be, I would think, gone by the end of August.
So does Pomegranate have a robust website and a robust client base?
We've had a pretty good client base of locals and tourists, but we also have an owner that doesn't believe in social media or putting a lot of money into e-commerce. So when I first came here, the store's been open for 38 years. I've been here 11. When I first came here, they didn't have a computer. So I said, okay, I want a computer. I need a POS system. So I think I came from a store that used Retail Pro that was horrible. So then I used QuickBooks. And then we shopped around and we found Lightspeed. And Lightspeed just made our life just so easy. And then I had a Marine build me my very first e-commerce website for $1,500. But the problem is it didn't connect with the stock. So if I would sell it in the store and somebody would buy it online, I'd have to write apology emails.
Jen,
So-
with that, our issues here, but I would agree that we learned here that the POS, Lightspeed, Shopify with Klaviyo will be like top of
That would be the perfect.
yeah. All
So
right.
if
We
I have to
agree.
do it again, or if somebody decides they want to give me some money to back me, I'll be back.
Thank
Okay.
you. We're writing it down.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to go because
What, Erica?
Come to New England and work for me. I need you.
well, okay, I'll move to New England. I have a sister in Massachusetts. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, everybody asks me. The customers will ask me. I go, well, I'll work at a call center. Okay, I don't know what I want to do.
So by
I'm
the
a
way,
fashion.
just to remind us that we are working on everyone's emails, and you are going to get an email from us with all of you in an email with exactly information of store name, the name. So you will be the two Jen. So we know that.
Yes, and it's okay. And you know, when you email Pomegranate, you don't get Isabel. She doesn't have that email.
I know, it's you.
Store. It's me.
I know. So you will be on that list.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm going to go because my website, and let me tell you the smartest thing I probably ever did. Miguel has worked for me for 9 years. He's 27 years old, okay? He came out of high school. They had an art program. He does all the videos. I did dresses yesterday. I don't know if you saw the video because I didn't send it to you, but I put it on Facebook and everything. I hate it when I'm on a video. But anyway, he edits so well. He is so smart. Hire a young one.
Where is he? Is he hireable?
No, well, he lives in San Diego.
But
And
why
he's
are you
not,
telling us about him? He's not, we can't hire him?
no, but I'm
Okay.
telling you that if you are going to try to get somebody to help you do all these things, like I said to him, let's try TikTok. He goes, oh, that's just for the young kids now. Well, yeah, it is the future.
Okay.
But you hire the young kids out of school that have an art background. And I'm sorry I didn't pay him hardly any money when he first started, maybe $12 an hour.
We're going to do that.
Hire young. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go talk to Miguel. I'll see you guys on Monday.
Oh,
Thank
Miguel
you.
is there.
Okay, bye.
See you Monday.
You know, it breaks my heart for a store to close. It just breaks my heart.
And you know that Koi is closing.
What?
No.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't
thought
know
so.
that.
I'm not sure to say that, Karen. I didn't know it was a secret. Koi,
Again.
no, so Koi is completely closing and Harari too.
Oh, Harari.
I heard Harari.
The big loss.
Opportunity for me.
Yes, Michelle, you have no idea.
I mean, that's how I started my store. The predecessor store was going out of business 20 years ago. It was called Extra Touch. And it was like, where was I going to buy my clothes?
Oh.
So I literally bought the store and the mailing list, and the rest is history.
Amazing. Hey, listen.
You mean Harari in Santa Monica? That?
The Beverly Hills one?
Beverly Hills. It's a big store.
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of room there. Yeah. Yep.
Well,
So
you know, we all need a lot of
the
cooperation.
advantage of losing stores is that you guys will have much more room, much more customers, many more customers.
Oh, it breaks my heart.
It does break my heart too. Totally. Never mind. Because another store is now closing. I just got an email about another one. Anyway. But she's in Midwest. Yeah. Anyway.
Not in Minnesota, is it?
No, you know Juma?
No.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's Erica, the owner, died 4 years ago, and her husband, sweetheart, who is the mayor of the town, kept the store. It's a Juma Gallery. It wasn't only closed. It was really. It's a small in Ohio, in a small town. He's the mayor. She was 20 years in the was in her 40s, and she died from breast cancer, and he kept the store for the staff, for the community, and COVID just killed it. Because why would he do it? He's a mayor, and he just gives it, he keeps the store. And really heartbreaking, because the manager, the buyer, the people I wish you could hire them, but in Ohio, they're great people. I just got an email from him yesterday. So yes, a lot of sadness with everything, including people we lost and stories. But again, that's the side, the sad side, and how we stay with it, with the happy, the sadness and the opportunity. You know, there is an opportunity too. Anyway, we love you. See you Monday. 1 o'clock.
Thank you, everyone.
We will remind everyone that it's 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.